Welcome to At the Capitol. I'm your host, Matt Swenson. This is State Representative Andrew Falk. Welcome, Andrew.
Matt, good to be with you again.
Good to be with you, sir. You bet. And good to have you folks tune in at home to hear what's happening here at the State Capitol, to hear what Representative Falk is doing on your behalf. And I know that you folks have gotten off to a very quick start this session. You know, I've been around here for 4 years. I've seen 4 legislative sessions. This is the fastest I've ever seen you folks move.
I would agree, and being I've only been here for 2 of those legislative sessions, I've heard a lot of people who have had more seniority than myself speak about how quickly things have moved. And we're over halfway through the legislative session, and we've already dealt with 1/3 of the budget shortfall. We came into this session looking at roughly $1 billion. When we got the actual numbers in February, from the February forecast, it came in at $994 million. We were short for the biennium. And we've dealt with $313 million of that prior to half of the session being done. The other major part, which normally takes a full session to accomplish, is passage of a bonding bill. And what happened is we worked very diligently over the interim between the 2009 and 2010 sessions to go and figure out what projects would do the greatest amount of good for the state, put the most amount of people back to work, and really make those long-term investments that are going to put us on the road to economic recovery. So we passed a bonding bill early on. There's things I would have liked to have seen funded in that the governor unfortunately line item vetoed. I think there was a lot of really good projects that would have put more people to work in a timely fashion. But what we got out of it was a point to start from.
And I know that one project in particular that you were very disappointed was not included was a wind turbine project at a local community college in your area.
This is true. One of the directions the state's made with respect to energy policy decisions over the last couple of years has been to focus more on renewable energy. As a result of that, we have to install a technology, whether it's solar panels or what I look at mainly as wind turbines, and we have to have the people who are able to service those renewable energy resources. In the city of Canby, which is in my district, there's a community and technical college that trains wind energy technicians. These are the people who climb up and service the wind turbines when you've got issues, whether it's just changing the fluids or if you have to replace a component. So it's important that we have an educated workforce that can service these new types of renewable energy, or these new generating sources of renewable energy. And what we did is we put in place funding for a commercial scale wind turbine at the college, so they'd actually have a real live working machine that they could train people on, that you could go and climb, you could go and use it as a servicing tool. But when it was not being used for classroom exercises, it would be a functioning wind turbine that would provide for the electricity needs of the campus. And unfortunately, in working with the governor and working with various members involved with the final bill, we compromised from $4 million of a fully funded project down to $3 million and eventually to $200,000 of planning and design money to get us ready for the next chance to put forward another bonding bill. And even compromising to just 5% of what we originally asked for was too much for the governor, and he unfortunately line item vetoed the project.
And despite that obstacle, I know that you've continued to focus on jobs this session, passing a second jobs bill this session that created competitive tax incentives that will help small businesses grow and put more jobs on the ground here in Minnesota.
Absolutely. That was part of the next big job creation bill we passed, was what we call the Jobs Package Part 2. And that had a number of incentives in it. One of these is an angel investor tax credit. And we're focusing on high-tech areas, whether it's bioscience, whether it's renewable energy, other types of technology. We want to encourage those small businesses to come locate in Minnesota. And for the people that have the capital and the resources and are willing to take a chance and invest in those businesses, we're willing to give them a small tax break as well. This has worked very well in the state of Wisconsin, and we're hoping to go and mirror its success in Minnesota. Additionally, as part of that series of incentives we put together, there was a historic building restoration and preservation tax credit also. And finally, a third part was allowing the Mall of America to have some additional expansion. So we'll get the construction jobs in building those expansions at the Mall of America, but when they fill them up with retail facilities as well, we'll have those ongoing jobs.
And I know another important component of that bill is an expansion of a research and development tax credit, which will also help small businesses here in Minnesota.
Absolutely.
Well, great. Well, so much happening here at the State Capitol session. You folks have done so much already, but still some work left to do, and I know that you encourage your constituents back home to contact you with their questions and concerns.
Absolutely. It's always great hearing from people. Sometimes that's where we get the best ideas, and I really want to know what people on the ground are thinking. So please, if you have a thought or comment or question, don't hesitate. Call me or send me an email.
Well, thanks for coming into the studio today, Representative Falk, and thanks for tuning in at home. We'll see you next time on At the Capitol.